What is going on, guys? Welcome to a new video, the complete productivity and mind-maxing guide. If you follow this one step by step, you can accomplish in one day what you are currently accomplishing in 1 week. Make sure to grab a pen and some paper because it is going to be interactive. I'm going to give you a few assignments just to make sure that you actually apply what you are doing. So grab a pen, grab some paper, and let's begin. First of all, why is it even important to follow this? Very simple. The more you do, the more you can accomplish. It's very basic, it's very simple. Of course, you need to do the right stuff, but in general terms, the more you do, the more you can accomplish. So let's dive right into it. First of all, dopamine and prolactin. Dopamine is associated with motivation, focus, and drive, but also with rewards. If your dopamine baseline levels are high, you can see yourself as the go-getter, being driven, motivated, ambitious, energetic, an action taker, taking initiative, etc. And also, if you have a higher dopamine baseline, you will have less ADHD symptoms, a lower chance of Parkinson's, a lower chance of Alzheimer's, and higher testosterone levels as well. Compare that to prolactin. If your prolactin levels are high, and nowadays many guys are struggling with high prolactin levels, you will experience fatigue and low motivation. If you have more dopamine, you will have less prolactin, and if you have more prolactin, you will have less dopamine. So, how can you actually increase your dopamine baseline? This is from a book called Dopamine Nation. I've read quite a lot of books when it comes to productivity and focus in general. We're going to be talking about some of them in this video. So this one is Dopamine Nation. You can see this guy is stepping on the pleasure side of the balance through chocolate, social media, gaming, porn, shopping, etc. But then the pain creatures, the creatures are gonna step on the pain side just to make it balance. However, the balance is then gonna tip towards the pain side. So what does the guy need to do? The guy needs to slowly go towards the pain side, and then the balance is in balance again. What this means is, the best comparison I can give, you can eat pizza every single day and sit on the couch, watch Netflix, that's it. That's gonna be, for some guys it's gonna be pleasurable, it's definitely going to be the easiest thing to do. However, after a little while, the guy that does that is gonna be obese, is gonna be sick, is gonna be miserable. Very simple. Compare that to somebody that chooses the pain side, such as eating healthy. It's not even painful to eat healthy, of course. To go to the gym, to meditate, to read books, etc. He's gonna level himself up, he's gonna become more confident, he's gonna become more successful, which then results in pleasure. If you want to choose for the pleasure side of things, so front-hand pleasure, it's gonna result in backhand pain. If you choose for backhand pain, front-end pain, it's gonna lead to back-end pleasure. That is basically what this is gonna be about. I remember a guy, now don't quote me on this, but a guy in Dopamine Nation, in the book, he cured his cocaine addiction through taking ice baths. Through just stepping on the pain side, through ice baths, so that then the balance will be in balance again. In balance, not an imbalance, but the balance will be in balance again, so two different words. So yeah, pretty powerful. However, you may ask, Jordi, all of these things that you're talking about, or all these things that are over here, chocolate, social media, gaming, porn, shopping, etc., they increase your dopamine levels, right? Then why shouldn't I do this? You just said high dopamine is good. And that's because of this, the dopamine curve. What you can see over here, you're gonna eat junk food, watch porn, etc. You're gonna see an increase, a high. But we all know that the high never lasts as long as the low. So you can see the high is this, and the low, slow replenishing phase is much longer. If you are constantly trying to get this high, you're gonna constantly be in a low. Which is basically, if you are pursuing pleasure, you're gonna be in pain over here, in the replenishing side of things. That's the best way that I can describe it. If you're constantly gonna be eating junk food, your dopamine levels are gonna be low. Even though it increases dopamine, the crash, the low, takes a whole lot longer. This is the pathway of dopamine from phenylalanine to tyrosine to L-dopa to dopamine. So it basically looks like this. So, why is this important? Well, phenylalanine and tyrosine can be found in food, such as red meat, white fish, seafood, pork meat, chicken, eggs, milk, and berries. However, for the conversion, so basically the arrows in between, you're going to need the B vitamins, zinc, and vitamin E, which can be found in red meat, organ meat, fish, shellfish, cacao, olive oil, and olives. Besides that, this herb, Mucuna pruriens, I probably say it wrong, but you can just read it on the screen, naturally already consists L-dopa, which is basically the precursor for dopamine. So, these ones over here contain some of the building blocks. These ones over here will help with the conversion from one building block to the next. And this one already contains the precursor to dopamine. So, this is going to be the first part of the interaction, the interactive part. I want you to write down your 3 biggest distractions like this. So make sure to make a sort of cross, distractions on the left, write down over here like phone, noise, whatever it is for you, make sure to write it down here. Make sure to pause the video, make sure to grab a piece of paper and a pen, make sure to actually do this. If you don't apply information, you're just wasting your time right now. If you're not taking action on the information given, you might as well just do something else. So really pause the video, do this right now, only continue when you've written down at least 3, but the 3 biggest distractions are good as well. Make sure to do it now. Okay, so some examples are the phone, using the phone, having a messy desk, switching between tasks, and outside noise. I think most of you guys are gonna have at least one of these. I mean, I know everybody's gonna have their phone, but these are the most common ones that at least I see in other people. So, what I want you to do next is I want you to find the solution. So basically like this, distractions over here, solutions over here. Phone, solution phone. Messy desk, solution messy desk. Switching between tasks, etc. So the 3 or more things that you've written down over here, make sure to come up with a solution on the right. Doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure to just write down what comes to mind. Do that right now. Okay, so this is going to be a big one. I know for a fact that almost all of you have written down their phone. The best way to solve the issue with your phone is to use AppBlock. AppBlock, I mean, big shocker, it's an app that blocks other apps. So what you can do if you turn it on, you can turn it on in 2 ways. You can do like, okay, I want 1.5 hours, or you can do from like 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single day. That's up to you. You can select apps that you want to have blocked. So for me, it's WhatsApp, it's Instagram, it's whatever. And then let's say I want to work from 6 to 9. I can just make sure that it's not even available to get those apps from 6 to 9. If it's really necessary, you can turn it off, of course, in case of an emergency. But most likely, it's not there's not going to be an emergency. So, get this app. It's free. It will help out a lot. But it's also very important to leave your phone not in your sight. Because even if it's turned completely off, if it's in your sight, it's going to distract you. So the best thing you can do, turn your phone on AppBlock, then remove it out of sight. Oftentimes when you are working on something and you quickly want to have a glance at your phone, you quickly want to distract yourself because of the effort it's going to take to walk to the other room, grab the phone, put the app block off. It's going to be too big of an effort. You're just going to keep on working. So download this one right now. It's a game changer. Next up, we're going to be talking about a to-do list. Well, why is it even important? I've given this workshop before, like in real life, and some people have told me that they just don't know what to do. They forget what they need to do. They are chaotic. Their mind is chaotic. But if you create a to-do list, you can keep track of exactly what you need to do. Also, once it's accomplished, you can check off the things you have done. Gives a sense of accomplishment, which then results in a bit of dopamine. But, as I just said, when you have a to-do list, you can also make sure to not forget anything. This way you can just keep track of what you need to be doing. However, only a to-do list is not enough. However, I will get into this in a few minutes. First, we're going to do the next exercise. I now want you to write down 3 things that you really need to do and behind it, how long you think it will take to complete. So this can be different for everybody. Let's say for me, need to write a newsletter. Let's say it takes 60 minutes. I would write down newsletter, 60 minutes next to it. Doesn't have to be exactly 60 minutes, just what you think it is going to be. Make sure to do this right now. Pause the video, write down 3 things that you really need to do. If there are no 3 urgent things, write down 3 important things. Might even be better to just do the important ones and not the urgent ones. Okay, so right now you already know what is distracting you. You know how to solve the distractions, and you know exactly what you need to do. Now we need to find out when we are going to do these things, which is scheduling your days. So, as I just said, knowing what to do is not good enough at the to-do list. Only a to-do list is not good enough. You also need to know when you need to do it. Yeah, as I said, also need to know when you're going to do it. Because your willpower and your thinking ability are limited. If you are focusing on your health a lot and you are improving your sleep and whatever, your battery, let's say the willpower and thinking ability, is a battery will be fuller compared to when you do not take care of your health and your sleep. However, it's still a battery, so even if it is full for 90%, it's gonna run out during the day. Your willpower and your thinking ability are limited. This will ultimately lead to a lower friction to work. If you know what you're going to do and also when you're going to do it, all you need to do is just take action. All you need to do is just execute. Instead of also knowing, okay, now I think I will be doing this. If you're free flowing throughout your days, you're not going to be successful. I'll just put it like that. No successful guy free flows all of their days. Everybody has a plan. Everybody has a schedule for each and every day. Very simple. The best thing to do is schedule the night before. And something I like to do is to, I can show the screen, doesn't matter, but put it as the background on your phone. So every time that you grab your phone, you're reminded of exactly what you need to do at a given time. This way you can just quickly glance at it. You don't need to open 5 different apps to see, okay, I need to be doing this now. No, you don't even need to open your phone. You just need to look at it, then you can put it away again. So certain scheduling tools. The way that I do this, and if you're an entrepreneur or a health coach or a coach in general, this might be useful for you as well. The way that I do it, I have my Google Agenda connected with my Notion calendar, and I then have those tools connected to Calendly. So if I schedule, for example, from 1 p.m. till 4 p.m., I'm gonna create content, then nobody can book a call with me between 1 and 4 p.m. Nobody can book a coaching session or a discovery call or whatever. And if somebody books in a discovery call, it automatically gets added to my calendar. So if you connect these 2 or these 3 really together, you can just use Google Agenda and Calendly if you want to, but I do everything in Notion. This way, the scheduling tools, the scheduling, creating a calendar will be a lot easier for you to do. So, what I want you to do right now. You've just written down 3 things that you need to do. Now I want you to decide when you are going to do them. So make sure to do that right now. Open one of these apps, download them, pause the video, download Google Agenda, install it, use Notion Calendar, use whatever tool you are using, and schedule the tasks that you have just written down alongside, or not alongside, but you know how long it's going to take. So if it's 60 minutes, you can schedule it from 1 to 2 p.m., for example. Do that right now. Something else that I like to do is I have one of these like cooking clocks, so to say, and I'm gonna raise myself against the clock. So let's say a task, I think it's gonna take about 30 minutes. I can put the timer at like 25, for example, or you can do it at 30 as well. And you're just gonna click on, I know it's probably inverted, but I think you know what's going on. And then you're basically racing against the clock. So now I got a task that I think is going to take 30 minutes, but I only give myself 25. This way, there's no room for distractions. There's no room for, any sort of anything else while I'm doing this. It's just me, the task, and the time. This way you can race against the clock and accomplish more in less time. Next up is going to be deep work and flow. Some other books that I've read as well. It's going to be a very important part. Flow increases productivity with 500%. Now you can imagine if you want to accomplish in one day what you're currently accomplishing in 1 week, This is going to be very important. And the most important thing to get into flow, to accomplish deep work, is to have zero distractions. So that's basically what we've already talked about before. You need to have a clean surrounding, no phone, block out the noise, use app block, no notifications, no multitasking whatsoever. Make sure to work hard in a way like teeth grinding hard. You really need to race against the clock. That's going to put you in flow as quickly as possible without any distractions. This one should be out of sight. Delete everything out of sight and out of mind that doesn't have to do with the task at hand. This way you can enter flow. Otherwise, it will be impossible. If you're gonna having notifications while you're working in flow, you're gonna snap right out of flow very quickly. This one is gonna be very important for most of you guys. It's gonna be important for everybody. If every moment of potential boredom in your life, say having to wait 5 minutes in line or sit alone in a restaurant until a friend arrives, is relieved with a quick glance at your smartphone, then your brain has likely been rewired to a point where, like the mental Rex, which is a reference to something else in the book, it's not ready for deep work. Even if you regularly schedule time to practice this concentration, which is from Cal Newport, the writer of Deep Work. And the reason that this is the case is your phone is very stimulating. Of course, that's the way it is designed. It's designed to grab your attention, and for something to grab your attention, it needs to be as stimulating as it possibly can be. If you're working, let's say you're writing something, writing isn't that stimulating. It is a lot more fun and a lot more stimulating, not with the quotation marks, but it's a lot more fun to watch reels, to go through TikTok or whatever you're doing, than it is to sit down and focus to write. If you are constantly switching between high stimulus and low stimulus, you cannot do work. Because if, for example here, you are escaping the boredom, you need to relieve every piece of boredom with a glance of your phone. The second that you're starting to work and the second you're starting to sit down to write, your mind wants to go to something that's more stimulating, which is going to be your phone. So the best thing to prepare your mind to do deep work is just embrace the boredom. If you're waiting for a friend, just wait for the friend. Sit alone with your thoughts. Stare in front of you, whatever. Don't just grab your phone and start to scroll on some reels. If you need to wait in line because you're ordering some coffee, don't grab your phone first thing that you're doing when you need to wait. If you're waiting for public transport, for the taxi, for whatever, just stand there, look around you, and notice what is happening. Inside of your mind, but also outside, around you in the physical world, so to say. Of course, the world is always physical, but don't just go grab your phone, be online every single time that you feel a little bit bored. Allow your mind to wander, allow your mind to ponder. If not, you will not be able to be productive. That is basically what this is about. You do not need, or you shouldn't, switch between high stimulating tasks and low stimulating tasks all the time. Next up, we're going to be talking about some supplements to start to do the Mindmaxxing. Some of them I use myself, not all of them. The first one I do, caffeine and L-theanine. Caffeine can just be in the form of coffee, of course. L-theanine is an amino acid that's mostly found in tea, but I just take a supplement for it. Next up, methylene blue. Speaks on behalf of itself, I reckon. Mucuna pruriens, again, probably butchered the name. Naturally contains L-dopa, so it naturally increases your dopamine levels. This is something I'm currently experimenting with. I'm currently experimenting with all these four. I'm not really experimenting. I'm experimenting with this one. I'm taking these ones sometimes. This one is a combination. Ginkgo biloba is pretty well known, I should say. These ones are a little less known, at least I assume. But I'm taking a combination of these three. Works like a charm. For now. I might change my opinion in the future. But for now, I'm really happy with the combination. I believe it's 200 milligrams of Bacopa monieri, 200 milligrams of Panax ginseng, I believe 125 of Ginkgo biloba, but don't quote me on it, might be wrong. Next up, adaptogenic mushrooms. Personally, I'm not a big fan of these. I've taken all of them, cordyceps, lion's mane, reishi, whatever, I've taken all of them. I just don't notice anything with any of them. and I've gotten high quality ones. Might be different from you. You might be interested to try them out. I mean, be my guest, try them out, see for yourself if it works. My personal experience with adaptogenic mushrooms hasn't been that great, but I know some guys benefit from it, so I just put it in there as well. Something else that works is low dose nicotine, 1 to 2 milligrams, found to be a nootropic. Don't shoot the messenger. It is true. It is true. Nicotine can help with the focus with your brain. However, I'm not advising you to start smoking. Do your own research, as with anything, of course. Don't just see one of these supplements and start taking them. Do your own research before you change anything. So, a quick recap of this video. We, or you, identified your distractions. We then solved your distractions. You created a to-do list. You scheduled your to-do list. You learned about Mindmaxxing supplements. And now you can leave a like and subscribe if you made it this far. Thank you for your attention. See you in the next one.